think the title of this message today is called Relationship Pyramid Scheme. Relationship Pyramid Scheme. And I was like, so I'm doing what I call Bible study on a budget today. And we have all of my boxes over here. And I'm doing like a whole illustration today. And it's going to turn into a pyramid. So I was like, what am I going to call this? Relationship Pyramid Scheme. Because if you don't build your foundation for your relationship correctly, all you're doing is building a fraud relationship. You're building it the wrong way, and it's just going to end up failing. And so it's a pyramid scheme, you know? And literally, I searched up pyramid scheme for dummies because, you know, I looked at the real definition. I was like, yeah, this is a little too confusing. And the definition, just the first, like, 4 words says, it is a fraudulent system. If you build your relationships the wrong way, it can and will be a fraudulent system if you don't have the right foundation. And so today, we are going to be reading from the book of Judges. I get Joshua and Judges mixed up. They're just both J's and they're right next to each other. And we're going to be in Judges chapter 16, starting in verse 4. Before we go any further, disclaimer, I'm not here to attack you or go after you, okay? I'm just saying what the Bible says and what I've been brought up to learn and I've learned in the past. Like you ever get like a pizza box, like the deep dish pizzas, and you have to look on the back to see how to cook the pizza, and you want to cook the pizza for that right temperature, because if you cook it for too long, it's like still hard on the crust, and the crust is still like not good. You ever had that experience? Like a bad pizza crust in the deep dish pizzas? Like it's not good. Or if you cook it too less because you want to do your own thing, so you're like, well, what if I just if I make it hotter, but I cook it for less? You know, and it comes out cold still. Like, the same thing is for your relationships. God has set out a specific way for us to do these things that will, could assure you to have a good relationship. Don't get mad at the pizza person. Don't get mad at God for the instructions that he's given us. He wants to give you a good relationship. He wants to help you. And so that's my disclaimer. Judges chapter 16, starting in verse 4, says this. It says, sometime later, Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah, who lived in the valley of Sorek. Verse 5 says, the rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, entice Samson to tell you what makes him so strong, and how can he be overpowered and tied up securely. The very end of the verse says, then each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver. I want you to focus on this one part where it says, the rulers of the entice Samson. See, a lot of us, and studies show, with guys, the first thing, we think not with our minds. We think, and we're thinking for something else rather than what you need. I'm gonna go there. Okay, I'm going there today, and I'm going there this month. I forgot to disclaim that. We're going there. Okay, we're going there. And so a lot of us, we want to start off our relationship with what I call the birds and the bees, or the devil's tango, as whatever other people want to call it. Mr. Kolosky's words is get jiggy with it. Whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm talking about. Birds and the bees. And a lot of us, we want to start our relationship like this. Samson starts he's enticed. He wants to be with Delilah. And Delilah, he's like, Delilah's so fine, And so he starts his relationship with Delilah in probably a bad way. He doesn't get to know who she is. He doesn't really know her. And so we start off with the birds and the bees. And I'm going to stack it like this. And so for guys, this is how we come across. It's kind of like in our nature a little bit. But for some of us, for girls, it starts off. That's the wrong box. Here it is. Emotionally, right? Emotions. You know, like, oh my goodness, he's just so good, so fine. He's just, oh my, like you don't understand. Like he's just so fine. You can never do anything wrong. And we start off with our emotions, and we try to build this relationship. And like some of you got these pink glasses on, you know, rose-colored lenses. And like I need to have like real glasses on to see, so some of y'all are blurry right now. And some of us are trying to go through our relationships with these lenses. They're like, oh my goodness, they're just so fun. Like they're just so good. Like there's nothing they could do to hurt me. They couldn't do anything wrong. Like some of y'all are like this, like you just have the picture of them, and they're just like, oh my goodness, they're just so beautiful. And like they like little dogs. And like who doesn't like chihuahuas? And they may have a little like green pigment to them, and like they don't like water and stuff, but they're just so good. They're so, you like a witch, bro. Like let's get for real, okay? and you're going through relationships like this, you're thinking with your emotions, you're thinking with how they look and how they act. Like, just, oh my goodness, they're just so great. And you build your relationship like this, and you're just like, oh my goodness, they're just so amazing. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And studies show when you're in this phase, we call it, it's called the honeymoon phase, and it lasts around 3 to 18 months. And to dumb that down for us, for Gen Z, it's called the 3-month rule. Anyone ever heard that? I see it all over TikTok, especially in February. And so we have this, and they're just so perfect. They're just so amazing. Oh my goodness! And then like they're just so perfect. They're just so amazing. We gotta go Instagram official, and so we go social with our relationship. And we're just like, oh my goodness! Let me just tell everybody, I'm changing my Facebook status. I'm not single no more, ladies. I am taken. And so we just kind of add that on there, and I gotta make sure I do this right. Okay. They're like a little campfire. You know what I'm saying? Like keep it warm. The sparks are flying. It's just so great, and it's just like, oh my goodness. And you're in this honeymoon phase, and you're just like, oh my goodness, and they're just so cool, and they're just so sweet, and they like little dogs, they don't like water, and it's just like, oh my goodness. And then after the 3 months, and it kind of starts to wear off, and let me tell you. If you want to see the best version of somebody, go see them when they're in love with somebody and they're trying to be somebody else. Like they ain't farting in front of people, they wearing their deodorant, okay? Like they ain't even pooping at your house yet. Like they still don't poop yet, okay? So you know what I'm saying? Like go, they're still spraying the Febreze after they go. Like they're trying to be the best version of themselves. You want to see the best version of somebody, see them when they're in the first stages of a relationship. And so after these 3 months, and it's just kind of, oh my goodness, they're just so good, they're just so perfect. Then you kind of get personal with them. Like I said, Bible study on a budget. Okay, we just moved, so don't look at the words. Don't look at the words. But personal. We get to know them for who they really are, and you kind of start to regret what's going on. But you know what? We can fix it. You know, we can make it right. Let's fix it. I can work with some of your flaws. You still have the colored glasses on. You still can't see straight. You're not thinking straight. The dopamine is still going on. You have this like love drug cocktail dropping in your system. And so you just want to try and fit it on there. All right. So we can just, ooh, don't fall. All right. We gotta, oh. All right. I practiced this last night and I kind of forgot how I did it. I think we went like this. All right, just do it like, nope, that's not gonna work. And you're trying to stack on something, and even right now you don't have the right foundation, so you can't continue to add on to your relationship. And this is where most of our relationships start to fail. This is when the 3-month rule kicks in, because you're getting to know the person, but it's kind of hard to get to know them because every time they chew, you just hear them smacking their teeth or smacking their food, and you're just like, why are you like this? You never got to know them. And so you just, okay, this is how we did it. And we stack it on like this. Yeah, clap for me, guys. Come on, that was so good. We got it. It's a puzzle, right? And man, you got to know them, and they are not the person you thought they were. You could tell. Everyone told you, come on, girl, your girlfriends told you, okay, that man was from the devil, okay? And he was a snake, and he cheated on you 3 times, but you still went back to him. Let me stop. And you're going, and you're trying to get back to him, and you're just like, oh my goodness, like we can fix this. And finally, you kind of put on the glasses, your real glasses, you can see again, and you're kind of looking at this, and this relationship, this foundation isn't that stable. I'm not even gonna touch it, because if I touch it and it falls, I'm gonna be really upset. And so, you know what, you work through your issues, okay? Let's say you work through your issues and all this stuff, and you know what, you go to chapel, because you go to a Christian school. So you go to chapel, you go to Bible study, and man, that chapel hit different, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ever had them chapel speakers, and they're like, like that really hit your soul, that really touched you, and you want to add the spiritual aspect. You want to add God on top of it. You want to add an anchor on top of a foundation that isn't really founded on an anchor. It's not founded on something firm. And so you're trying to add something heavy. You're trying to add a weight, like with God, where God needs to be at the bottom of your relationship. He needs to be the foundation of it. The Bible says that the wise man built his house on the rock. You build your house on God. And I want to add some spiritualness to it. Oh, it wasn't even ready for it. And we can just add a little bit on. It's kind of there. And then, like the flood, and there's some shaky parts in the relationships. There's some times like, why did you send that message to that girl? Why are you still talking to your ex? And the storms come, and at some point, it's not really stable, and it starts to fall. Did I just force it to fall? Maybe. It's for the illustration. but it don't work. You're trying to build your relationship on the birds and the bees. You're trying to build it on a small foundation. This foundation can't hold all of this. But when you build your foundation on God, when you build it on God, when you build it on Him, He's your anchor. He's holding you down. He can lead you beside still waters, and you can sit down, and you can rest. I don't know how I'm sitting on a box right now, but I am. And you can rest, and it's chill, and it's good because you're on a firm foundation. If I go and sit on this box, if I try to, I'm not even going to break the box, so I still need it. But if I try to I'm not even really sitting on this. If I try to sit on this box is going to collapse. Why? Because it's not a firm foundation. It doesn't have enough room for me to sit on. And so if you're trying to build a relationship like that and not on a foundation that's strong and firm, you're going to end up falling. And what I've come to realize is you cannot have this or, where is it? You can't have this or this without this. I love y'all. Oh, y'all good. I love y'all. Because look, this is what happens. If you try, and this is the messed up side. Okay. No, it's not. This side is the messed up side. If you try, you want to have this and this, but this isn't ready for it. If your relationship with God is just walls and not a foundation, you're new to this, you're new to all this, and you're not fully secure, like your foundation isn't strong yet. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I go to Bible study like once, like a semester, but I read my Bible on Sunday. And you say, well, I have this spiritual foundation. I believe in God, but you're not living out the way that God told you to live out. You're not living out His word. You're not building a relationship with Him. You're just putting the walls of I'm a Christian. And you go, well, He leads me beside still waters, and it's just like so. And you're trying to sit on a foundation that's only walls. And you want to have all this, and all this, and this. But you can't have it because you're not on a firm foundation. All you have is walls up. Oh, all you have is the walls. And for some of you, this is how we build our relationship. This is how some of us are. For some of us in Bible study, we're Christians, but we have a wall instead of a foundation. And you can't build on only just walls. You have to have, like when you build a house, they don't build the walls, and not put the foundation down first. They put the foundation down, and then they put the walls around it. You build your foundation so that whenever you go and you want to start this relationship, and it's just so cool, you want to get to know them. And I'm going to flip this upside down now because I'm not putting that back. And God is saying, you want to have this relationship, but for some of you, you're not ready to have this relationship yet. You can't. God has the thing for you. He has the blessing for you. He has the relationship for you, but He's saying you're not ready for it yet. You're not firm in me yet. And so when you are firm, let's hurry up. Let me hurry up. When you are firm in it, and you are firm in God, you can start to get to know people, and you start to get to know this girl, and you see this girl, and you're like, oh, or this guy, and you're just like, oh, they're kind of nice, but I don't know yet. But you can put this on the foundation, and it will hold, right? And so you get to know them, and you know what? I think I can ask him out now, and you get to ask him out, and you get all these emotions, and it's just like, oh my goodness, but I don't know yet. And so you know what? You go on a second date, and second dates, if you make it a second date, third date, fourth date, I think you're together now, right? I don't do these talking stages, man. Like, come on, like be for real. So you go, and you're just, we're a relationship now. I'm gonna finish up really, really fast. You go social, and then after you go social, you meet them, you're all together. You add the emotional aspect. Oh my goodness, they're just amazing. This is so great. And this is where we stay in high school. When we get out of high school, we can add on the marriage part. And then you can go to the birds and the bees. And this foundation is sturdy. When the storms come and the floods come, you can shake it up, but it's on a firm foundation. So the more and more I shake it up, the boxes on top are a little messed up, but all you got to do is just adjust it because you have a firm foundation. Cool? Interesting? Really cool? Hope you learned something. Let's pray.